every aspect of this vision statement for Wikipedia is important. When I talk about every single person on the planet, this implies that we are inherently global in our outreach. Free access, that has a very special meaning, which I'll explain in a minute. And the sum of all human knowledge has a very special meaning as well. So, what is Wikipedia? So, first of all, just for fun, let's ask how many people here have used Wikipedia? It's just for fun, just to make sure you're awake out there. I can see a few hands going up in the dark. The real question, though, is how many people here have actually edited Wikipedia, made some edits? So a few, not nearly as many as the people who've read Wikipedia. So for people who have used Wikipedia, you come to Wikipedia, you find it in a search engine, and you visit and you come and read something, you may not know all of the ideas behind Wikipedia, and that's something that I think is very important. The basic definition of Wikipedia is that Wikipedia is a freely licensed encyclopedia written by thousands of volunteers in many languages, and every aspect of that is important. So when I say free access to some of all human knowledge, or freely licensed, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that everything in Wikipedia is released by the community under a free license that allows you to copy it, to modify it, to redistribute it, and to redistribute modified versions. And you can do all of these things commercially or non-commercially. So it's very much like open source software, free software, a very popular mode these days of software development. And it's very powerful in terms of allowing the community to do all kinds of interesting things without asking a lot of permission from the central organization. So we have people doing projects, for example, in Argentina, they are distributing Spanish language Wikipedia on DVDs to rural schools who don't have access to the internet, or the internet access is too expensive for the students. And so this is something that is, quite powerful technique, that we share everything. This is really a big part of the spirit of our community, that when you're contributing to Wikipedia, you aren't just contributing to this one humanitarian project, you're contributing to a storehouse of knowledge that anyone can use for any purpose that they want. So, in general, though, we see that the content and what's really good in Wikipedia tends to be very similar across different languages. One of the things that I always say is that there is a certain geek culture that transcends national culture. So Wikipedia is always very, very good on Star Trek and Star Wars and geek topics like that. Technical information, so computer science, the hard sciences. It tends to be less good in other areas, in the fine arts and things like this. And that tends to be a global phenomenon. So people are, the kind of people who contribute to Wikipedia are quite similar in many ways all around the world. Over the years, Wikipedia just has continued to grow and grow and grow. We now have over 460 million people visiting the website every month. This is an enormous audience. And it's part of what makes Wikipedia our business model, or lack of business model, actually successful. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But one of the questions that we have, when we think about, we have 460 million people using the website every month, it does raise the question of who are the Wikipedians? Why do we want to know who the Wikipedians are? Well, with 460 million viewers every month, we have an enormous responsibility because we are now part of the infrastructure of the world. We're part of the information infrastructure. People turn to Wikipedia for knowledge. This was a statement somebody made on Twitter. This woman turned out to be a school librarian, and she says, yesterday I asked one of my students if she knew what an encyclopedia is, and she said, is it something like Wikipedia? The Wikimedia Foundation has under 100 employees, and yet we have over 100,000 volunteers who are editing the website every day. So it wouldn't be possible for us to do this in any other way except for through the motivation of a very large volunteer community who do a really great job. One of the things that people always ask me is, do you think other projects could be funded in this way? Could other charitable projects get their funding directly from the public? Well, of course, many do. Many traditional charities, like the Red Cross, get lots of money from the general public. But for websites and things like this, I think it's very difficult. I wish that I could see more people successful in doing this, but if we really look at the numbers, one of the reasons that we're able to raise as much money as we do is that we do have 460 million people visiting the website every month. Only a very tiny percentage of them actually donate, And as a result, when we go to raise our budget, which for this year is around 28 million US dollars, while we're asking 460 million people to help us, it only takes a small percentage of them to really make that happen. But it's really quite a unique model and one that we're very, very proud of. So now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to talk about Wikia, wikia.com. And as this is generally an advertising audience and an advertising conference, I'm going to focus my remarks here on basically what we have learned in the course of Wikia, lessons for advertisers and lessons in the advertising market. But first, to introduce Wikia, to tell you what it is, because it certainly isn't as famous as Wikipedia. The idea that I had is that the encyclopedia was a start. When I saw the encyclopedia becoming successful, I started thinking to myself, well, how much further can I push this notion? What is beyond the encyclopedia? What are the other things that people might collaborate on? And so the basic concept here is, if we think about the encyclopedia as a set of books, it's normally a set about this big of heavy volumes, we realize that the library is much, much bigger. That there are many, many, many types of works that people might collaborate on that go beyond the encyclopedia. The encyclopedia is the basic summary of human knowledge, and that's the beginning. But at Wikia, we go much, much deeper than that. So what is Wikia? Wikia is a collaborative publishing platform. We try to keep the ideas very open. People can come and create a wiki on any topic, any style, anything that they want to do, they can do it. So it's two things. It's both the resource that the communities generate, but it's also the community of authors who are trying to create things. And it's become the #3 most popular social site for males 18 to 34. This is according to a Nielsen report recently. And so at Wikipedia, we are restricted, as I said. We restrict ourselves to encyclopedic topics, whereas at Wikia, we go very, very deep and very, very wide. So for example, we have a recipes wiki. Recipes are typically not in Wikipedia. You'll find the occasional recipe, a historical recipe might be mentioned or listed, but we're not a cookbook. Wikipedia is not a cookbook. And so the recipes wiki is where this community has created 43,000 recipes, and they discuss the recipes and they test them out and things like that. That's just one example of a site that's very deep that is very, very different from Wikipedia. So currently, we've been very, very successful. We have 59 million monthly visitors. Now, compare that to Wikipedia's 460 million. You see, we're still a lot smaller. However, we just passed the New York Times. And so when you think of global big media properties, Wikipedia is way out there. There's nothing like Wikipedia, really.